Alright, let's create a server. We got our 4 rooms, start. And first thing we'll do as soon as it comes up is build cube maps. So as soon as it actually loads our level console with the tilde, hit server says no samples. We need to build cube maps. Build cube maps. Boom. Okay, we got those. Let's disconnect just for good measure. And close this window. We'll just start a new server. 4 rooms. Check your game options if you'd like. Start. Okay, here we are. Let's take a look at how our map looks when we use some of our optimization tools. And the first tool we're going to look at is show budget. So open up the console and type plus show budget. Probably pop up there. Okay, enter. And what this is telling us is at any point in our map, at any frame that the game engine's drawing, what's happening, what is causing the most stress. What we're really going to be looking for, and I'll go through some of these things, world rendering, displacements, any NPCs, physics is going to be huge if you see that going up. Let's just kind of walk around the different areas and keep an eye on that map. See at certain places what's going up or down. And we have these func fizz boxes we can shoot at, and we'll see if the physics kind of goes up a little bit in our budget here. So take a look for physics. All right, there it is. See it down the list there, and just shoot. You see it pops up a little bit. Really nothing too bad, even if we just lay into it. I also see off to the right the current frames per second, and we're blazing here, touching 300. So you know the levels that you see here are going to depend on your hardware. So to get a judge for what is a stressful millisecond rating for your level, you should probably open up some of the maps that come with your game, or some maps you download online that are from professional that you've noticed running really fast, and take a look at how your map compares with theirs. Let's talk about another tool that's going to help you as we're creating our levels, and that's Mat Wireframe. So bring back our console. We're going to type in a value. It's basically going to show us our map in a different way. It's going to show us what's being drawn with some wireframe drawings. So we'll open up our console here. We'll do mat underscore wireframe, and 0 is going to be off. Basically, wireframe 1 is going to show us what is being drawn on screen, what the computer is actually drawing on screen, even if we're not seeing it, because certain things are being drawn beyond what we can see as a human. Mat wireframe 2 and 3 are going to give you other wireframes based on textures and then your brushwork. So let's just do mat wireframe 1. Oh, well, we have to actually enable cheat to make that work. So we can turn off. We don't want to have too many things going on at one time. Let's do a couple things. First, let's turn off our show budget. So we'll do minus show budget instead of plus to turn it off. Then we have to turn on our SV cheats. So SV underscore cheats, turn on 1, just like we did with our soundscapes. Then we can turn on our mat wireframe. So type in mat underscore wireframe 1. Ooh, okay, and that shows us a whole different world as we walk around. Turn off our flashlight. Okay, now we get to see our level and all of the lines of geometry that are making it up. So you'll notice our walls, although we see them as just being rectangles, are actually all going to be divided into triangles, because the Source engine divides everything up into triangles. When we cut up our pieces of geometry with our different tools, are going to cause the world to be cut up into a different number of triangles. And you'll notice that although we don't see it, the engine is actually drawing the room up top, and all its entities, all its prop statics, our flag waving, the door over there. It's drawing all those, even though we don't actually see them when we start the map. And that's because we have this func breakable here that actually doesn't block visibility. So the engine can see straight through it into that room. So if we were to close up that wall, from this point on our map, we actually would not draw that section of the map. And that might actually boost system performance quite a lot. So things like func breakables will really change the performance in your level. But basically, we're looking for the fewest number of triangles to make our map run as effectively as possible. as I step forward, you'll notice that suddenly different areas of my map, including that room up the stairs, are coming into view. As I get a little closer, the wall and the detail brushes on the other side there do come into view. And if I go over to the right, they start falling off, because from this corner here, I'm not going to see that corner at all. And you might say, well, you can't see any of that corner. You can't see the pillar from where you're standing. But our map is being divided up into leaves, which we'll take a look at. And from within this leaf over here, we can see certain areas of the map. So that's how the visibility system works. Let's change from Matt Wireframe 1 to 3. Alright, now we're talking about brushwork. So it looks a lot cleaner. Our brushwork here looks actually pretty clean. You see things are divided into triangles, not too many different brushes. These guys here that we carved, which are going to be the most complex and the most taxing. So we'll switch back to Matt Wireframe 1. 0 would turn it off, remember. And let's go back to showing our show budget. Show budget. Okay, now we've got both things running, and you can get a pretty good idea, taking a look at the world rendering, where there's most stress. So right now it's probably one of the highest we'll see our world rendering in this on this meter. So you'll see right in here is where my game is drawing the most of the levels. So I'm drawing up in this area, I'm drawing all behind me, I'm drawing up the stairs, I'm drawing basically everything in the room. So this is everything except the far stairwell there. And if we run around our map and do some different things, see a lot of things go up. Look up to the skybox, you'll notice the skybox section going up a little bit. Not too bad. It's not much skybox here. 3D skybox is really where you start running into more issues. Okay, so that's basically the tools I wanted to show you as far as the main tools for looking at how you can optimize levels. You can come in here and improve your frame rates, keep your milliseconds down. Okay, so basically there's your map, and we get some basic optimization. We could take a look at leafs, occluders, and some hints and stuff that you're going to use a lot if you're really wanting to, if you create a level you really love, the next step is to make that level that everyone else can love. So let's exit. So let's exit out of here and quickly go over a couple of those other guys. Okay, so we saw the just staggering amount of different areas our map is currently being divided up into, and the main culprit is these guys, these 3 turrets we had, and our walls, and maybe our pillar as well. So let's just go in here and we'll see the difference after we change those objects into func details. So grab those guys, Control T, func detail, apply. You can just select this guy, make him one as well. Oh, wait, maybe he already was, that's right, I forgot we already changed him. And these 3, as well as the walls. Func detail. Make those detail brushes. And now we'll recompile our map. It should compile a little quicker, yep. And it should also really clean up our leaves. And then maybe we could go in and use some hints to better show how it should create any other areas that we think could be better optimized. Compiled much quicker. Again, not always the best thing. Sometimes you just want the map to be better. So let's see how this affected our visibility when we go around using our wireframe and our show budget. Wireframe 1. Oh, gotta enable cheats, of course. See cheats 1. Matt wireframe. Whoops. Matt wire. We hit down 1. Okay, there we go. Now, take a look. Still looks like a mess of lines, but you'll notice within the floor of our room, we've now just created, well, I mean, we can count the number of triangles on our floor. Where before, remember how these guys just had these stars coming off of them, just because there are so many visibility sets depending on where we were at on either side of them. Let's turn on show budget. Okay, and take a look at our world rendering. It was really spiking when we got into this area over here. Now, to me, we may have helped our potential visibility sets by lowering the amount of basically visible obstructions with our turrets. But we've also increased the amount of things that are visible from anywhere in our level. So let's see, from our corner over here, remember before, well, we're pretty close. I mean, before you couldn't see the stuff on the side here from this portion of the map. So we've kind of opened up this area of our map. It's now being rendered when it wasn't before. This entire turret wasn't rendered last time with our visibility the way it was. So let's exit out of here. Relaunch Hammer. Open up our level. And this is a lot of what optimization is. It's back and forth, checking your different tools to see how things are affecting your level. There's really just no getting around it. That's what you're going to have to do. So we'll move this back to the world. Let's give it a quick run and then see how that looks. Maybe putting our wall back in there. And it's kind of tricky because we decided it would look really cool and give some shooting opportunities to have holes in it. If that were a solid wall, it would definitely do a lot more to block visibility. But it is thick enough where it's only really visible anywhere from extreme angles straight on. But let's compile and try it again. So we'll save here. Just our pillar in the middle is now a visible object to the game. Recompile. Hopefully it won't take too much longer than it did last time. But again, our suffering right now, if it helps out the player down the road, is going to make your map a lot more replayable. Give it a lot more replay value. Next, we'll talk about hints and how we might know a couple things about our map that the game itself might not. So let's just run this guy one more time. And then we'll try to boss the compiler around a little bit. Okay, so we will enable our sheets, which I always seem to forget. And then we'll turn on our Met Wireframe 1. I thought I did just do cheats. Oh, SV cheats. God, see, somehow I always screw that one up. SV cheats, plural, 1. Met Wireframe down to 1. Okay, there we go. Now let's take a look at how our leaves have been divided. Now you see this room is still divided up into its triangles, but we got a lot more triangles dividing up our room here, these little stars that weren't there before, all these potential visibility areas. You'll also notice that our stairs seem to disappear a bit more this time around, which is a little odd actually. I'm not sure why that visibility is on there. Yeah, we might have been alright with that involved. So maybe the best thing was really all of these objects as func details. That way we don't divide our map into needless leaves, but we still get a fairly optimized map. This map, besides the upper stories, which we can see at any rate because of our lack of real solid walls, is small enough that we should be alright. But these, again, are incredibly valuable tools. You'll need to just keep going back and forth, checking it out, and seeing how they're affecting your map. Okay, let's take a look at bossing around the engine.